how does MIG define itself in the context of a data-driven marketplace, and how does it provide value to the ecosystem?
The MIG is WPP's technology development organization. So, quick history of the MIG is that WPP acquired a company called 24/7 Real Media about 3.5 years ago. And that was so that WPP could have a technology development organization within the group, because Sir Martin Sorrell and executives like him saw that technology was very important to the future of the advertising business. And so we created the MIG initially within 24/7 Real Media as essentially a SWAT team to focus on building technology for the media agencies. And we built a data management platform at first, and then got into the business of helping the agencies buy and optimize media. So we started with a technology platform called Zap. We launched a business called B3, which is our service organization. And very quickly, we spun out of 24/7 Real Media and became our own company. So we're not an agency. We exist to help the WPP agencies use technology in a smart way and use data in a smart way to buy and optimize media. So that's our role within the ecosystem.
Do the other holding companies have something similar?
Yeah, we're not alone in this pursuit. The way we go about it is a little bit different, but all of the major agency holding companies have a company like the MIG. The industry is sort of labeling them as trade desks, and I wouldn't label the MIG as a trade desk. A lot of the services we provide allow the agencies to consolidate their spend, aggregate demand, go to the market in a smarter way. So to the extent that that is a trade desk, we provide that service. But we build proprietary technology, and that's our differentiator from what IPG or Omnicom or Publicis are doing in the same space.
All right. So how do you see the DSP marketplace progressing in the next 12 to 18 months? As getting more complex or less complex?
I think it's going to get more complex before it gets less complex. Over time, it certainly will become less complex. It has to. But there are lots of entrants into the space right now, and it's an incredibly fast-growing space. So just to give you a sense of our business, the MIG managed about $120 million last year on behalf of the agencies we work for. So that is the WPP agencies, mostly the Group M agencies. And about 15 to 20% of our business was real-time bidded inventory. Mm-hmm. So we don't define ourselves by how well we buy on exchanges only, but certainly that's the fastest growing part of our business. Advertisers find that buying audience through a DSP is very efficient. And so because of that, and in combination with the fact that display is growing as quickly as it is, I think there will be even more entrants into this market before there's a shakeout and some of it makes more sense.
Okay.
So more complicated.
Long time before it gets more simplified?
I think it's probably 2 to 3 years before it looks like a mature marketplace, the real-time bidded display marketplace.
What does the IAB or other members of the industry need to do or should do to try and help push that along?
Yeah, I think there's probably 2 areas. One is certainly standards, standards that define how the exchanges are built and how DSPs can plug into the exchange. And obviously the IAB has a long, successful history of creating standards. What I think is even more important than that is just simply education. Educating both advertisers and publishers as to the benefits of RTB, and then also some of the pitfalls of real-time bidding and advertising exchanges. It's an incredibly frothy market right now, and there's a lot of buzz, jargon, excitement, sexiness. And I think that the IAB can really help to make sense of it all for the advertisers and publishers.
What are you noticing that marketers at the agencies you're working with are asking for something now that's coming up that they weren't asking for a year ago?
Yeah, I think that advertisers are getting smarter. I don't know if it's one specific thing, but I think people are using display in a much smarter way.
How so?
Well, I think that there's probably too much focus on cost, meaning using companies like the MIG and asking agencies to get better pricing through something like an ad exchange or an ad network. And so what's new, I think, is that we've developed technology that allows advertisers to be smarter about their display and not just ask for cheaper display or more reach for less money. So I'll give you an example. We know that the attribution model in the display ecosystem is broken, that last click or view through doesn't really make sense, especially in the context of a brand advertiser, and we're seeing more brand advertising dollars come into display. So we've developed technology that allows advertisers to make sense of that attribution and actually look back several events, not just at the last event, so that we can be smarter about how they spend their money. And advertisers are really warming up to that and asking for that type of insight and technology.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's
It's good.
very important.
That's good for all of us.
Yeah. So a question that I've been asking a lot of people today is what keeps you up at night? That has to do with the industry and what would need to be done to resolve it.
Yeah, so what keeps me up at night is sort of the misinformation that goes on about what we're doing to progress the display marketplace. It really comes back to that idea of advertisers being smarter about how they buy audiences and how they direct their messages, and not necessarily looking to display as the next great way, the next great cheap way they're going to expand their reach. So really what keeps me up at night is the focus on sort of aggregating demand and getting better pricing in the display marketplace, which ultimately is not good for publishers because it compresses CPMs. What I'd rather the focus be on is using technologies to actually find innovative ways of distributing brand messages within display, and also analyzing that across other digital media, other addressable channels like search, like a mobile device, like video, and eventually addressable television. We fundamentally believe that all media will eventually be addressable, and we're trying to build the technology and provide the services so that advertisers can be smarter about this, not just worry about getting cheaper media.
Right. So it sounds like a theme in what you're saying is it's kind of seeing the value over the price.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well said.
Thank you. So what's been your favorite presentation so far?
Well, I thought Dr. Eric Schmidt was very good. I thought that he had great insight into how big the display marketplace can be, and obviously that's good for everybody in attendance at the IAB annual leadership meeting. And I thought that he had very good insight into what Google's role in the display ecosystem will be, and obviously Google has set its sights on making this their next big marketplace, and I think we all need to pay attention to what they're doing and make sure we understand what their ambition is in this market.
They have a good track record.
Yeah.
Is there anything else new and exciting about the MIG or anything in your life you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, I mean, we are constantly adding to our technology stack. Mm-hmm. So the latest thing that we're going to be announcing very shortly is that we're adding search marketing capability to the Zeus advertising platform. So we will be able to assist agencies in buying and optimizing media across real-time bidded display inventory, reserved display inventory, and in search marketing. And the attribution modeling that I talked about will actually go across all of that activity. So that's very exciting for us because we see that there's convergence across display and search, and it's important to have the data management platform that connects to both a mechanism for buying reserved display, search marketing, and real-time bidded display. So that's new for us, and we think it's a tremendous opportunity for our clients to start looking at data across multiple addressable media.